Today we'll be going over the WildLock third grade worksheet, lesson number 4. And to start off, we're going to be finding the elapsed time using a clock. So, look at number 1. Here we see we have a time starting at 9:10 a.m., ending at 10 a.m. But when we're trying to find the elapsed time, it's not regular math, since we know that hours are separated by 60-minute increments. So, judging by this, we know that um the most that 9:10 can go to is 9:60, which is basically already 10 a.m. So to find this, all we have to do is do 9:60, which is basically 10, and then subtract it by 9:10, and we get 50. So the elapsed time for this first number 1 is 50 minutes. We can do the same for number 2, as we see that it starts at 5 a.m. and ends at 6:15. So since we know that 5 to 6 is 60 minutes as is 1 hour, we have an extra 15 minutes. So we can add these together, get 75 minutes in total, which is equal to 1 hour and 15 minutes. On this other side, for number 6, here we see it starts at 11:35 and ends at 1:15. And we're gonna make it easier for ourselves. So we're gonna first try to get this 11:35 to 12. So we see that if we add 25, we get 11:60, which is equal to 12. So we put a 25, and then 12 to 1 is another 60. So we're gonna add a 60 and plus 15 to get 115. We can add these all up, which gets us 100 minutes, which is equal to 1 hour and 40 minutes. Do the same here for number 7, it's 11:20 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And to find this, since we know that 11 to 12 is 1 hour and it's already 11:20, we can do 11:60 minus 11:20. This gets us 40, and then we see we have 30 more minutes, so I can just add 30, which gets us 70 minutes. 70 minutes is equal to 1 hour and 10 minutes. Moving on to the next page, we have find the end time using a clock, which is basically the same concept as the previous page, but for number 1, we're going to start, it says that it's 9:15 and the elapsed time is 1 hour and 15 minutes. So to make it easier for ourselves, since we can change 1 hour to 60 minutes, and we're just gonna add 60 straight to 9:15, which turns it to 10:15. And then we have 15 minutes left, so we can add 15 minutes, which gets us 10:30. We can do the same for number 2, as the elapsed time is 1 hour and 20 minutes. So let's add 60 minutes to 5:30, which gets us 6:30. And we can add 20 more minutes to it, which gets us 6:50 a.m. Well, let me add a.m. to this one too. For number 6, it's also the same thing. We see it's 11:25 a.m. and the elapsed time is 1 hour and 10 minutes. So let's add our 60 again to it. Let's turns this in 12:25. We're gonna add our extra 10 minutes, which gets us 12:35 p.m. Remember, when it passes the 12 from a.m., the 12 turns into p.m. And for number 7, we have another 1 hour and 25 minutes, so we're going to add our 60 to it. Let's turn this into 12:30. And we can add our 25 minutes, which gets us 12:55 p.m. Moving on to this page, here we see have used the class schedule to answer the questions. So let's use this morning class schedule. Here we see that reading is 8:30 to 9:15, math is 9:15 to 10:15, recess is 10:15 to 10:35, music is 10:35 to 11:20, and art is 11:20 till 12:05. And for number 1 here we see it's asking which activities last 45 minutes each. So let's do math. So here we see 8:30 and 9:15. So the best way to find this out is just do 9:15 minus 8:30. It gets us 45. 45. So we know that reading is 45 minutes. Here we see at math. The easiest way, since we know that 15 and 15 are the same, we can look at the big number here. So we have 9 and 10, and we know 9 to 10 is 60 minutes. So it's this we can exclude math. And we can do the same for recess, as we see it, these two are the same. So we can just count the measurement between these two numbers, and we see this is 20. So reading is out, or recess is out. For art, we can see we have 25 minutes before 11, so we can have a 25, and then 20 minutes after 11, so we had 20 right here. We add these up, we get 45. So music is also it, and then art we can do 40 plus 40 to get 12. So we have 40 right here, and we have to see there's 5 extra, so we add a 5, and we get 45. So for number one, reading, music, and art all last 45 minutes each. For number two, we have which activity is the longest, and we can use our prior knowledge from reading, music, and art, since we know that each one of them are 45, and we can use this because since we know recess is 60 minutes, and we know math is 60 minutes, and we know recess is 20 minutes. So the activity that's the longest is math. And we can do number three too, since we know that 20 minutes is the smallest out of all five, so we can say that recess is the shortest. Moving on to the word problems. We have number one, Stacy needed at least 30 minutes to get ready for school. If she leaves for school at 8:05 a.m., what is the latest she can start getting ready? So, since we know that she needs at least 30 minutes to get ready for school, so if the latest, and she has to leave at 8:05, we can count back to, we can just subtract 30 from 8:05. And to make this easier for ourselves, we can subtract 5, which is the 8, so we just have 25 minutes. And then we're just going to do 8 minus 25, which gets us 7:35. So the latest she can start getting ready is 11:35. Number two, it takes Joni 28 minutes to walk to school. It takes Jenny a half an hour to walk to school. Who has a longer walk? So since it takes Joni 28 minutes and it takes Jenny half an hour, we're just gonna find how much a half an hour is. And since we know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, and half hour is just half of it, so we can divide this by 2, which gets us 30 minutes. So we know that Jenny has to walk 30 minutes to get to school. So we know that Jenny has a longer walk.